Hi, hello, welcome to my next lecture on solutions. In the previous session, I have discussed about Henry's law and concentration terminologies with different problems. Okay, now in this session, we're going to start with vapor pressure of solutions. Okay, so let's see what is vapor pressure. Most of you know that the vapor pressure is pressure exerted by vapor over the liquid when it is in equilibrium state at a given temperature. That is called as vapor pressure. But greater the intermolecular forces of attraction, then what will happen? Lower is the vapor pressure, vice versa. That means when the intermolecular force is increasing, vapor pressure decreases. When the intermolecular forces decreases, vapor pressure increases. So vapor pressure is actually depending on this temperature and whatever the purity of the liquids. When a solute is added to the solution, what happens? Some of the molecules of solute replace the molecules of solvent from the surface and the lower its vapor pressure. Okay, that is one point to be remembered in studying the vapor pressures. The other point here is when solute is volatile, then vapor pressure of the solution depends on escaping tendency of solute molecules from the surface of the solution. So the second point here is most important because we are going to study about the nature of the solute, because solute is of two types. The one type of solute we will call it as non-volatile solute. The other type is called as volatile solute. Usually volatile solute is said to be contribute towards the vapor pressure, but non-volatile solute is not going to increase the vapor pressure. The reason is this replacement of solvent molecules by solute molecules. When a solute is mixed with a solvent, the solute particles which are present on the surface along with the solvent will increase the vapor pressure, as solute is also having a tendency of getting vaporized on the surface of the liquids. So that's why when a solute is volatile solute, definitely it will contribute towards the vapor pressure of the solution. But what will happens in the case of non-volatile solutes? See the third point here, that is when the vapor pressure of the solution decreases. That is all because of non-volatile solute, because decreasing the tendency of the solvent molecule from the surface, decreasing the escaping tendency. So solvent molecules escaping tendency, when it will get reduced, when the solute molecules are said to be non-volatile solute molecules, which are dragging the solvent molecules from the surface of the liquid into the bulk of the solution. So that time what will happens? What is the actual study on this type of solutions is a non-volatile solute tries to drag the solvent molecules from the surface of the liquid, will reduces the number of solvent molecules on the surface of this liquid or solution, escaping in the form of vapor. So once the vapor is created, then automatically vapor pressure increases. But the vapor pressure is said to be created majorly from the solute molecules, then after the solvent molecules, then after the solute molecules if they are in volatile stage. But the condition we are studying is solvent molecules are actually responsible for the vapor pressure, responsible for the vapor pressure of the solution if we have non-volatile solute is there in the solution. So that solvent molecules number is getting decreasing when we have a non-volatile solute inside the solution. So if you study this kind of analysis, you will come to know that vapor pressure is nothing but the vapor, that means force which is created by the vapor of the liquid when the liquid and the vapor are at equilibrium stage at a given temperature. So this study is most important in the vapor pressures of the solutions. Actually, this was studied in terms of important law called as Vapor-Raoult's law that will be noticed in the detailed studies. Okay, let us see the another important thing here in this, that is when the vapor pressure is exerted by the vapor of the liquid on its surface when the liquid and its vapors are in equilibrium. So how the vapor pressure is defined, here we are observed. So finally Raoult introduced these concepts, but earlier uh, Raoult, one more scientist is there we have. So this is scientist, I'll tell the name of the scientist. His name is Babot. Okay, what this Babot's law is telling, that when we have a non-volatile solute, what will happen? The vapor pressure of the solution will get decreased. That means if we add the non-volatile solute, automatically what will happen? Vapor pressure contributed by the solvent molecules decreases. So this study leading to the discussion, most important law in this vapor pressures is Raoult's law. So you can see here what is Raoult's law. According to Raoult's law, the partial pressure of any volatile constants of solutions at a constant temperature is equal to the vapor pressures of pure constants multiplied by mole fraction of that constituent in the solution. So here it's very close to Henry's law. If you observe, it's a modified form of Henry's law is Raoult's law. From this statement we can understand why, because there we told that vapor pressure of a gas is directly proportional to the mole fraction, but we have introduced a constant in the Henry's law discussion, that is Henry's constant. So that Henry's constant, if it is replaced with the vapor pressure of the pure component, then that is the modified form of Henry's law called as Raoult's law. So here what is telling? Partial pressure of a volatile, partial pressure of any volatile constants of solution at a constant temperature is equal to the vapor pressure of pure constants multiplied by mole fraction. Simply I can say vapor pressure of A is directly proportional to mole fraction of A. And here if we introduce the constant as PA naught, considering as the vapor pressure of the pure component A into XA, then this is said to be the Raoult's law from this statement. Now this one, if we can check it with another version here. So what is Raoult's law given here in the another version is the partial vapor pressure of a volatile component is directly proportional to its mole fraction. This is very clear that in comparison with the Henry's law, we have a small deviation. That is, in Henry's law, they have considered the KH. Here we are considering the vapor pressure of the pure components. So the comparison of Raoult's law between ideal and non-ideal solutions can be studied after knowing this information. Okay, before going that, again we will come back to that study. That is what I am telling, that for a liquid solution. So this is introduced in our textbook. How? Let us see. Vapor pressure of liquid solutions is introduced. Actually, we are discussing about the liquid in liquids, solids in liquids. In that first case, we are observing in the case that is liquid solutions. In this considering binary solution, two volatile liquids denote that two components as 1 and 2. There you can say A and B. Here we are saying 1 and 2 as per the textbook. So when taken in a closed vessel, both the components would evaporate. Both the components evaporate, and eventually an equilibrium will be established between vapor phase and liquid phase. So that equilibrium stage, at that equilibrium stage, you are considering vapor pressure. So the vapor pressure of the stage total vapor pressure in the stage is P total if you consider P1 and P2. So P1, P2 are the partial vapor pressure of components 1 and 2. We can say X1, X2 are the mole fractions. And that was from the Raoult's law. That means 1886 has given the quantity relationship, and that relationship is stating that solution of volatile liquids, that is called as Raoult's law is called solution of volatile liquids, and that is given as for a solution of volatile liquids, Raoult's law is given at that time is the partial vapor pressure of each component of a solution is directly proportional to its mole fraction present in solution. That is P1 proportional to X1, P2 proportional to X2. In this juncture is introduced a constant. Here is P1 naught and the expression that P1 naught we are calling as vapor pressure of pure component at that same temperature. The similar fashion, if you apply this Raoult's law for the second component, it will become P2 is the vapor pressure of the component 2, which is equal to the product of the vapor pressure of the pure component into its mole fraction, that is X2. So these are the two expressions which are given according to Raoult's law. But we know that one thing in the Dalton's law of partial pressures, that means Dalton's law of partial pressure is also involved in this discussion we have. That is total vapor pressure we have means that will come according to that vapor pressure as a sum of the vapor pressures of individual components. So they are discussing about the gases. Here also when we are telling about the components are volatile components. Then P1 and P2 total value will become P total, and that is introduced. Then after we got an expression here is P1 naught is plus P2 naught minus P1 naught into X2. So here in terms of one component only we can express the Raoult's law, and that final expression has become like this. So here you can understand one thing, that P total is equals to X1 into P1 naught plus X2 into P2 naught. In this juncture, anybody asks to explain the vapor pressure of the total vapor pressure of this solution in terms of only one component's mole fraction, then the mole fraction relation, you know, that is sum of the mole fractions of all components in a mixture is equals to 1. In this case, here how they got the X2 expression here is, you know, X1 value can be written in terms of X2, that is 1 minus X1. So in a place of X1, we can write 1 minus X2 into P1 naught plus X2 into P2 naught. So here they are interested to write the expression in terms of one component's mole fraction only. So after that they got P1 naught plus P2 naught minus P1 naught into X2. So this is what they got. So here we have separately, we have make common X2 value is common, and that is what they got here only that. So if you want to express this one in terms of X1, then also you can express it by considering X2 value equals to 1 minus X1. Okay. So that is about Raoult's law. Total formula of the vapor pressure can be obtained from Dalton's law of partial pressures. Here, In this juncture, we have two equations. This, the total vapor pressure over the solution can be related to the mole fraction of one component. This is what we observed. One component is either you are going to express that component mole fraction of x1 only you want to write in this expression, you can write it, or x2. So total vapor pressure over the solution varies linearly with the mole fraction of the component. So linearly means you can write this one compared to y is equals to mx. Then what will happens? This P1 naught. So this P1 naught, P1 is equals to P1 naught into x1. So this is compared with the y is equal to mx. Then it goes towards the origin. Then it will be P1 naught is the slope. So we are taking the mole fraction over the x-axis and taking the evaporation on the y-axis. The total evaporation has become P1 plus P2. And initially what will happen, one component is 0 and other component is maximum. That's why when x1 is 1, x2 will become 0 at that time. And when x2 is 0, x1 will become 1. This x1, x2, what we are telling is, we are telling about the mole fractions of the components 1 and 2 respectively. The other point here is, depending on the vapor pressures of the pure components, the total vapor pressure of the solution decreases or increases with increase in the mole fraction of the component. See, sometimes what will happen, this vapor pressure decreases or increases. So this decrease and increase, if you observe here with the dot lines in this picture, indicating that the component's nature is volatile and non-volatile nature of the components. Now we'll again see the details of this information. That is, a plot of P1 and P2 versus the mole fraction of x1 solution gives linear plot. Here we are observing that one. So here the plot of vapor pressure and mole fraction of ideal solution at constant temperature we are observing. The dashed lines of component 1 and 2 represents partial pressure of component 1 and 2, P1 and P2, are directly proportional to the mole fractions x1 and x2. When the P1 is increasing, and the P1 is increasing, x1 also increases. When the P2 is increasing, x2 also increases, directly proportional. So total vapor pressure of the solution can be given by the line marked, and third one, that is P1 total is equal to P1 plus P2. This is the thing. So if any of the mixture or solution is giving this type of line, number 3, then we can say that that solution behaving like an ideal solution. Okay. So here the studies are about minimum value of the total vapor pressure is P1 naught and the maximum value is P2 naught. So minimum value you can observe on the y-axis here, and this is the P2 is the maximum value for P total. So this is minimum, this is maximum. You can observe here. So the composition of vapor phase in equilibrium of solution is separately determined using Dalton's law. Dalton's law is telling the individual vapor pressure of one component is equals to the product of the pure component vapor pressure into the mole fraction of the same component. So that volatile components, whatever vapor phase components, Y1, Y2, if you take the mole fractions, then according to that Dalton's law, we can write P1 is equals to Y1 into P total and P2 is equals to Y2 into P total. This is Dalton's law is telling that partial pressure is equals to mole fraction to total pressure. So in general, what will happen? P1 is equals to Y1 into P total and P2 is equals to Y2 into P total. So there's a problematic analysis is also there that will see after observing another important thing here, that is yeah. Now you observe here in learn material we have in this what they do is for liquid solutions how they discussed about vapor pressure. So mixer taken they have constraints they have taken A and B. In textbook we have taken 1 and 2. There P1 naught we have taken. Here they have taken PA naught. Pure component vapor pressure of A component is PA naught. PB naught is the vapor pressure of component B in the pure state they have taken. So that was here discussed, and where the XA is there, that is the mole fraction of component A, is elaborately written as Na by Na plus Nb. So this Na by Na plus Nb is the mole fraction of component A in the solution. That is clear. Now, partial pressure of A can be written as mole fraction into total pressure. So what is partial pressure of A is equals to mole fraction of A into this pure component vapor pressure. After that, another equation is also applied for the PB naught component. So that was given as PB naught, PB dash is equals to NB by Na plus NB. So whatever the symbols it may be, they followed the Raoult's law. Raoult's law they followed in the determining the vapor pressure of individual component. Then after, if the components are in vapor phase, they followed the Dalton's law. So this is a Raoult's law discussion. Here also the same graphical representation in our textbook given by taking P1 naught and P2 naught. So if you see one problem here, 1 mole of heptane is 92 millimeter Hg vapor pressure given. So heptane, which is in a pure state, its vapor pressure is given 92 millimeter mercury, and is mixed with the 4 mole octane, that is 31 millimeter Hg. So that means if you take P1 naught is equals to 92, or you can also take PA naught as per this book. Okay, or P2 naught is equals to 31. Also you can take it as PB naught. But number of moles of A is taken as 1 from the problem. Number of moles of B is nothing but octane, is 4 moles. But total number of moles is how much? Na plus Nb as became equals to 5. That's why the XA value they are introducing 1 by 5, and XB value they are introducing 4 by 5 in the calculation. So if you see the calculation, PS total vapor pressure is equals to, find out the vapor pressure of the solution of the question. Total vapor pressure is equals to mole fraction of component A into the pure component vapor pressure. Pure component vapor pressure 92 given, P1 naught, that is also called as PA naught in this expression, and XB value got is 4 by 5 into the B component vapor pressure is 31. So after that they got 443.2 millimeter Hg. The same thing here in the textbook information. So we have NCERT textbook. In this textbook we have a problem which is given. If you observe that problem here, the problem discussed on chloroform case. So chloroform and dichloromethane, and they are not giving any kind of molecular weights. but this can be calculated using the formula given. Chloroform molecular weight is 119.5 and dichloromethane is methylene chloride is 85. Using the masses given in the problem, the masses given in the first problem is calculate the evaporation of solution prepared by mixing 25.5 grams of chloroform and 40 grams of dichloromethane at 298 Kelvin. See the first problem, to find the number of moles is the first target that calculated separately, got 0.47 is the moles of dichloromethane and 0.213 is the moles of chloroform. The total has became 0.683. This is what we are usually calling as Na plus Nb only. That dichloromethane Na value and chloroform is Nb value. If you consider, then mole fraction separately calculated for this dichloromethane is Na by Na plus Nb, got value 0.688. Whereas the chloroform, that value is number of moles is got is 2.13 divided by this 0.683. Finally, they got 0.312. So that is actually substituted in the expression, but one mole fraction is enough. You want to calculate that one mole fraction, you can write it with respect to mole fraction of dichloromethane. Raoult's law written, that is P1 naught plus P2 naught minus P1 naught into X2 they have taken, or else if you take the P1 P2 naught you wanted, you can take it, and in terms of X1 you have to write the Raoult's law. So that value substituted, they got 347.9 millimeter Hg in the first problem. But second problem, what happened is they asked is mole fraction of each component vapor phase. When they're asking the mole fraction of each component vapor phase, means we have to follow the Dalton's law also. So in the Dalton's law, what we will do is, we want to find the vapor pressure of the component, means we must multiply the mole fraction of that component with the total pressure. So the total pressure we have calculated, that we got is the total vapor pressure around 415. Yeah, this is 415 they given. Okay, 415 given. That's why here 0.688 into 415, how got? That one calculated from the Raoult's law, the first two cases. That is PA is equals to PA naught into XA and PB is equals to PB naught into XB. But when you are finding the mole fraction of component in the vapor phase, what is the answer? That is mole fraction of the component vapor phase will become equals to, okay, vapor phase, that means the partial pressure whatever you got from the Raoult's law divided by the total pressure. So what is the total pressure you have calculated in the first problem? P total 349.47.9, that they have substituted here. That is why the values came are different from the x1, x2 values. So this mole fraction of methylene chloride and mole fraction of chloroform values in the liquid state are different. The mole fraction of the same components in the vapor phase are different here. Different we got 0.82 and 0.18 we got. So here, what is the study here? How we can understand this problem is, when the methylene chloride is said to be more volatile component than chloroform, in that case what happens, the partial vapor pressure of partial pressure of methylene chloride pure form is 415, while that of chloroform is 200 given, which is high value in the vapor pressure. Pure component values given in the problem is said to be more volatile. So vapor pressure is more for a pure component, any component given. The competition is there, but in that competition, which is having higher vapor pressure in the pure stage, that is said to be highly volatile component in the mixture, contribute towards the total vapor pressure of the solution. And the vapor phase also richer. So the same thing is implemented in the case of mole fraction of the same component in the vapor phase. So in vapor phase, what happened we have, if you clearly observe, in vapor phase, the mole fraction of methylene chloride in the vapor phase is 0.82 km, while that of chloroform 0.18 km. So this is enough to understand the nature of that component, that is methylene chloride. So it may be concluded that equilibrium vapor phase will be always rich in the component which is the more volatile. So here this application, I can say problem and all, we can do it from the calculation part, but in the vapor phase and in the liquid phase, how the mole fraction we are calculating. You want to calculate the mole fraction of a component in the liquid phase, use the Raoult's law, that is PA is equals to P naught into XA. When you are finding the mole fraction of the same component in the vapor phase, you must use the Dalton's law, that is mole fraction is equals to partial pressure obtained from the Raoult's law divided by total pressure of the mixture. So this is what the relation between Raoult's law and Dalton's law. But finally, these are giving a clarity about the nature of the components. That means component is more volatile, means that more volatile component definitely contributes towards the more vapor pressure of the solution. Okay. So this is one most important thing we have to learn in this Raoult's law. Okay. And that's why here, what is the Raoult's law? Raoult's law is said to be as a special case in Henry's law. Earlier only I told that what is Raoult's law is telling, vapor pressure of a volatile component in a given solution is P1 is equals to X1 into Pa naught. But in the solution of a gas in a liquid, one of the components is so volatile that it exists as a gas, and already have seen that solubility is given by Henry's law, which states that P is equals to Kh into X. Almost similarity is there. We told different terminologies, but directly they told mole fraction. Indirectly they told it is solubility. Both are same almost. Okay. So solubility of the gas into a liquid is directly proportional to the vapor pressure of the gas in that Henry's law case. So if you compare that to both the things, it can be seen that the partial vapor pressure, partial pressure of volatile component or gas is directly proportional to the mole fraction of the solution. So only what is the proportionality constant in Henry's law? Kh. And in our Raoult's law is P1 naught or pure component vapor pressure. They are different. Thus, Raoult's law becomes a special case in Henry's law, in which Kh becomes equals to P1 naught in special case. Okay, so that's why everybody has to accept the contribution of this idea towards the science by Henry's law, and after that it's leading to modified forms of Henry's law, that is Raoult's law. So we have to appreciate both the scientists giving the idea to this vapor pressure concepts. Then after they started studying, so as we have told about the kinetic energy of the molecules which are on the surface of the liquid always converts that liquid molecules on the surface of the liquid into vapor phase. So this is a small illustration which is given in our textbook, which is very clear from the picture. that pure solvent molecules when present on the surface of the liquid, when the liquid only taken as pure is solvent is only taken. But once the experiment is done and we have made a solution by adding one non-volatile solute, then that non-volatile solute definitely decreases the solvent molecules number over the surface of the liquid. So the vapors of the solvent are said to be at equilibrium with the liquid of the solvents molecules present in the solution. So an equilibrium which is making this vapor pressure of the solutions. So solution vapor pressure is completely depending on the number of solvent molecules present on the surface of the solution. That number decreases when we have a non-volatile solute is present in the solution. Even though we have a volatile solute in the solution, that may contribute towards the vapor pressure, but finally solvent number is most important compared to solute molecules number over the surface. So that is what here which is given an illustration in our textbook. So Raoult's law in its general form, how we will define. So for any solution, the partial vapor pressure of each volatile component is directly proportional to its mole fraction. That is the general form of Raoult's law. We'll come back to that Raoult's law before seeing the important table form related to Raoult's law. Now we'll see the comparison. If you see Raoult's law, any of the solution is followed, then that is called as ideal solution. But when we will call as ideal solution means, if you see this table form, a solution obeys Raoult's law, that is ideal solution. Don't obey, that may be positive deviation or that may be negative deviation. Neither heat is evolved or heat is absorbed, then enthalpy value greater than 0 or less than 0, that is not a greater than 0 means positive deviation from the Raoult's law, we can say that solution non-ideal solution. Less than 0 is there for delta H value, then that is negative deviation from the Raoult's law. Same thing can be obtained by noticing the volume changes, that means change in the volume. Delta V mix is equal to 0, that means when we mix the two liquids, two components for the preparation of solution, the solution is not prepared but the volume exactly the same. That means you have taken 10 ml of one component and 10 ml of another component, the total volume is 20. So then there is no change in the volume. Such case what will happen is that solution according to Raoult's law is ideal solution. But what will happen in the other solutions means real solution means really it will happen? No, because any one component may behave differently. In such case what will happen? The volume of the mixture means the solution may be greater than 20 or less than 20. If it comes little greater than 20, then we can say it is a positive deviation incurred from the Raoult's law. If the mixture of the solution components is assumed to be is taken as less than 20 ml, as per our general expectation, I am telling 20. If you take 20, less than 20 comes, it is negative deviation. So it's not 20, it is in general I have taken a number, but it may be anything. So for example, you consider 50 ml mixture solution, above 50 ml if it is coming, then ideal solution. Ideal solution came from 50 ml, but non-ideal solution may be less than 50 ml or greater than 50 ml. Suppose it comes less than 50 ml, it is negative deviation from the Raoult's law. Greater than 50 ml comes means is positive deviation from the Raoult's law, we can say. Here, why it comes? If it comes for ideal solutions, what is the status here? Means the two mixing components we know that A and B, in that case is the parts, mixing parts are identical in shape, size and intermolecular forces. So component A, between component A or between component A and B or between the component B and B molecules, what will happen? Shape should be same, size should be same, intermolecular forces should be same, attractions also should be same. That case only ideal solution can be observed. While that of positive deviation from the Raoult's law, what will happen? Some of the attractive forces between component A and B are said to be weaker than the attractive forces between the same components AA, BB. So, which was discussed here. So, if the attractive forces are stronger between the different components, then what will happen? It will be negative deviation occurs. So, finally, deviation is occurring because the non-equality of the attractive forces between the different components and the same components. Another point here is escaping tendency is same before and after the mixing. When a solution is following Raoult's law said to be ideal solution, means the component's escaping tendency is said to be same before and after the mixing. That's why what is happening, there is no deviation from the volume changes occurring for the ideal solution. So that is occurring which is greater than, escaping tendency is more than, more after mixing and increasing the vapor pressure, then greater, that is positive deviation. Escaping tendency is lesser because the attractive forces are stronger. In that case, that is called as negative deviation. So Raoult's law is telling that PA is equals to P naught A into XA, formula we are observing. If that is greater than coming, PA greater than coming is positive deviation. PA is less than PA naught into XA coming, that is negative deviation. After that, you can apply the Raoult's law to the formula to this components, two components, that is PA plus PB. Total also will come same only. So total vapor pressure according to Dalton's law is the sum of the vapor pressure of the individual components is equals to total pressure. Exactly comes for ideal solutions. If it comes greater than, it is positive, less than, it is negative. Next, we need to see azeotropes. Before that, we'll check with the textbook information also. Okay. So before that, one more problem we will see from the Allen material. That is, at 88 degrees Celsius, benzene has a vapor pressure of 900 torr and toluene has a vapor pressure of 360 torr. What is the mole fraction of benzene and in the mixture with the toluene that will be boiled at 88 degrees Celsius at 1 atmosphere pressure? Benzene, toluene, they are saying they are forming ideal solution. Ideal solution means we can write equality in the expressions. So here the solution vapor pressure 760 torr because solution boils at 88 degrees Celsius. Okay. Now this 760 is there. It's equals to 900 mole fraction of benzene plus 360. Here 360 given for toluene. Okay. And all substituted in this one. That is finally we got a value as 0.74. A is the mole fraction of benzene they have taken. So the problem how they have done is from the calculation part, it's very clear that mole fraction of benzene into the vapor pressure of benzene. Vapor pressure of benzene is 900 into mole fraction of benzene plus 360. What is 360? Is the vapor pressure of toluene into 1 minus mole fraction of benzene. Assuming mole fraction of benzene is small a. So this how this formula came is P total is equals to, okay, PA naught into XA, means that they have taken small a here. I am writing like this, that is again will be written as PB naught into 1 minus XA. So this is similar to that one also. So here they considered the XA value as A, small a. Okay. So then after, for solid liquid solution, because solid liquid solution, there is another way of finding the Raoult's law discussed. So this is the problem, because in this problem, what they have asked is, find the mole fraction of benzene in the mixer with toluene that will be boiled at 88 degrees Celsius. So problem solved from the Raoult's law only. Okay, this is a general idea. Okay, let us see the next point. Now we'll see azeotrophs. The constant boiling mixtures are called as azeotrophs. So a mixture of two liquids which boils at constant temperature and distills over without any change in the composition called as azeotropic mixtures. We have two types are there in this one. One is called as minimum boiling, another one is maximum boiling azeotrophs. So minimum boiling, how will come? Let's see. They are the mixture of two liquids. Boiling point is less than either of the two pure components. They are formed by non-ideal solutions showing positive deviations. So minimum boiling azeotrophs shows positive deviations. Maximum boiling azeotrophs actually showing negative deviations, because they are the mixture of two liquids. Boiling point is more than either of the two pure components. That is maximum boiling azeotrophs. Here example, we have best example is there. Minimum boiling azeotrophs, ethanol and water, 96% approximately we can take for ethanol, and water is 4%. Exact value is 95.63 is there. Water is 4.37 is there. That of maximum boiling azeotroph mixture is HCl 20.2 is there and water is 79.8 is there. Okay. So that is another point to be noticed. These are the most important definitions before entering into the Raoult's law of the another kind of solutions. What are the another kind of solutions I've told? That is solid liquid solutions. So Raoult's law for that solutions is, for any solution, partial pressure of each volatile component in the solution is directly proportional to mole fraction. Okay, that was discussed in the Raoult's law case, and that one, if you take the partial pressure on y-axis and evaporation on y-axis and mole fraction of solvent on x-axis, then the graph will come like this. This is, so in textbook also, if you observe, the delta H mixture is 0, delta V mixture is 0, called as ideal solution. So ideal solutions is discussed from Raoult's law. Non-ideal solutions, where the forces and all discussed in a tabular form earlier we have. For that, the graphical, whatever the curves are coming for the positive deviations above the straight lines, whatever the dotted lines we have, and below that lines coming any curves, mean that is negative deviation. So Raoult's positive deviation, negative deviation, and ideal solution graph also is given like this. So ideal solution means there won't be any kind of curves. That means straight line we will get in the case of ideal solutions. You can go to the textbook and even the examples related to intermolecular force also. Like, for example, here the most important thing here discussed in textbook is negative deviation case. If you see intermolecular protective forces between components A and B are weaker than those between A and B, then negative deviation will come. We have an example here given is a chloroform and acetone. forms solution with negative deviation. Whereas ethanol and water, we have an example, and this year in JEE mains examination, they are given this question. Pure ethanol and acetone is same example asked in NEET examination. They have asked this question. What is the reason is the attractive forces between these components is lesser than their individual components, means positive deviation. Attractive forces between the components A and B greater than the individual components A and BB, then it will be negative deviation. So here also the same thing happened, because chloroform molecule able to form hydrogen bond with acetone molecule. That's why attraction is increasing. While that of ethanol and acetone, if you take, your molecules hydrogen bonded, ethanol molecules, strong hydrogen bonds will be there. Adding acetone, what will happen? The hydrogen molecules strength between the ethanol molecule, hydrogen bond strength between ethanol molecules will be weakening. Because of that, we can say that attraction between the ethanol molecules is greater than attraction between ethanol and acetone molecules. The reason why positive deviation is observed in the case of mixture of ethanol and acetone, but the negative deviation is observed between the acetone and this chloroform due to their hydrogen bonding is stronger than the individual components, means between two acetone molecules the attraction is weaker than the attractive force between a acetone molecule and a chloroform molecule due to the hydrogen bonding formations. Then after, here in textbook also we have azeotropic mixtures discussion which is done here, and they given the values also. The boiling, constant boiling point also they are given. For nitric acid and water they given one value, and they have discussed about the Raoult's law. They continued about the details of the application only here. This, okay. This is about Raoult's law in the textbook, and this nationwide branded book notes you have. They have given solid liquid solution after the liquid solid liquid solution. Raoult's law will be observed in the next session in our class. Okay, so we will start the next session with the Raoult's law, relative lowering of vapor pressure of Raoult's law in the next session. Until, have a nice day, and please prepare this one in our textbook and write your notes from this class, whatever we are displaying on that turn. So from that you can collect the theory, you can collect a problem and understand the problem from this explanation. Okay. Thank you very much for this session. We'll meet in the other session with the Raoult's law, relative lowering of vapor pressure. Thank you very much.